We are all tied up, ladies and gentlemen, for our BlizzCon qualification match here. Our final best of 5 of the year here in HGC Korea. It all comes down to the next 3 games. Our best of 5 has become a best of 3.
Yes, and let's ask the question again now, Wolf. Who do you think is going to take the series after watching both games?
I think Mighty's going to take the series. I really think they definitely
Do you think they're going to just continue with the macro?
I think they are, and I think that we saw a little bit of slipping on the side of L5 there in the team fights. Soundbearer's a little bit late.
Tempest.
Tempest, yeah.
I was even L5.
Well, I mean, I was watching No Gem L5 on the video, so yeah. So
Too much honey gem.
I should say specifically from Hong Kono there in that last game with the Soundbearers.
Where was Lucio?
Yeah, that's
like
right.
Even Korean commentator King was saying, where was Lucio in those team fights?
Yeah, King came in the room. He opened my Pringles can of snacks.
Yeah, I think he was trying to steal your snack, too.
Yeah, he opened my Pringles can. He's like, have you seen Lucio? I'm like, those are my Pringles. He's like, no, seriously, where is he at? Where's Soundbearers? So he came in here. We talked to him about it a little bit. He agreed that it felt like Hong Kono underperformed. But going into Game 3 now, map choice will very likely go to Mighty. So I think picking Cursed Hollow or picking a map that's larger like the Dragon Shire where they can control the macros and be good. Not Sky Temple, though, because you have to fight more often on Sky Temple. I think that's what they're trying to avoid.
And Sonya, of course, as Tempest is prioritizing, Sonya is one of the best map for her. And Tempest will try to take that as an advantage again. But now the first band, second band will be changing. So it'll be interesting if Tempest still stick to that Sonya first pick or just pick ETC instead.
Yeah.
That's something we have to look out for. I also agree with your statement that Mighty has a better chance of winning. And Tempest, it seemed like it was practice that, okay, Hyde, you use your Twilight Dream first, and then when the panic comes, I will drop my Soundbearer. I think that was the promised play from practice, from what we've been seeing so far. But when desperate time comes, you need to press that R button and save even Hyde when Hyde is in danger, you know?
Yeah, Hyde was not saved in those last 2 team fights. After he Twilight Dreamed and then immediately ice blocked, there was no saving him after that. So that's my concern as well going into our final 3 games is will the supports be there, and also will Tempest change their draft to better cater towards this double global Dahaka Brightwing that we saw both games. We saw dominate. In fact, let me check. Mighty played it yesterday in 2 of their games.
1, 2.
Dahaka Brightwing. Actually, the first game did not have the Dahaka. Was a Sonya game with the Brightwing, but Brightwing played of now 4 of their last 5, as we were talking about. Genji as well, 4 of the last 5. So feels like a trend. Feels like maybe if you're Tempest here, maybe you ban the Genji, then take the Morales, for example, force them into an Auriel pick where they have not been as strong.
Well, Mighty has been just banning Tassadar instead and leave both open at the same time. And either one, I think Tempest will just pick Morales instead of Auriel, depending on which map we'll be going into. With BOE already removed, I think we'll see a lot more Morales if it's not banned out from the beginning. I think Genji ban is actually a smart idea coming in.
I think that's what they should do, because in terms of the double support Morales versus Auriel, I think Tempest has the upper hand, because that forces a comp that's more teamfight based, which they've been better at. Minus the exceptions in that last game where Sonya face checked and there were a few of the mistakes, but we're finally going to get the map. It is Dragon Shire, so this is the map choice of Mighty.
So they are saying that we want to focus on what we have been doing, focus on the macro. Let's see what changes. We'll likely to see more changes coming out from Tempest side of the draft compared to Mighty. We already saw the Battleground revealed. Dragon Shire, it seems like Mighty will just stick to their macro play. Maybe Tempest will be the one coming up with the plan B, having their macro play, picking Brightwing when they have the chance to do so.
That is the potential plan here. Well, we're going to head into this one, and I mean, this is going to be kind of for all the marbles, if you will, because this is going to lead to a match point. It's also going to show whether Tempest can flex into a different comp, will change up their draft, or just continue to struggle against the globals. This map is somewhat similar to both types of maps. Like, it's not a channel map. It is in terms of the Dragon Knight only, but it's also partially an objective map where you have to fight over the objective to take it. For example, the top and bottom. Wave Clear will lead you to take one, but not both. So it's kind of a hybrid in the sense of channel versus controlling a zone in terms of objective. Like, that's why Cursed Hollow is saying was better for their comp. because they can poke and delay the tributes.
Or let's see if Tempest will stick to the same ban and just take Genji as their own pick, but that would actually require some role changes back because Honkono used to play lots of Genji for Tempest, and he's been playing lots of supports for now, so that requires some role changes. They will actually do exactly that.
Okay, that was the only other way they could change this draft after not banning him, was to take the Genji themselves. So yesterday, when we had Mighty up against Blossom, this actually was never done to them. There was the Genji ban we discussed, that was done to them, and that allowed them to take Vala Ariel. In this case, Vala removed and Genji taken away. We don't know what Mighty will do. There's no history here to show us what will be drafted.
Oftentimes when they did not get Genji, they also did not pick right wing because having the phase shift onto Genji using the poly right after seemed to be a pretty good combo for Mighty.
The poly allows you to get the pick with the Genji on the first Dragon Blade, or in the early game, right, with potential ganks. But I think that without the Genji, you might not want to take the Brightwing here. If you still want to take it, yeah, I was going to say you still have to take it in this rotation or it will be removed. So they're going to swing it back towards Tempest a little bit with the Sonya. So Sonya Brightwing in first rotation. We saw this yesterday, not exactly used like this, but we saw the commitment for the Brightwing and Sonya early for Mighty. It was in the second rotation with the Genji first pick, which we saw already today. So a little bit different with how they're going to approach this one.
Uther ETC seems like a solid one for Genji, and also the rotation to control over from the start, but that would also mean that Mighty may still have the double globals along with Dehaka. Tempest may have to be thinking about a global ban of Dehaka. That would be alright from what we've been seeing, but because of Genji, I don't know who will be playing Genji, so I think they need to change some picks.
Okay, well, Malthael coming through, doesn't feel like a lockdown hero to me. I think that lockdown will very likely be on the Genji based on this pick. And we'll probably have H82 on Malthael. Johanna will be played, of course, by Sign. If Honkono gets put on the Johanna, then I think everything is going to go to hell for their composition.
Go back to Infernal Shrine.
Sure. BOE was banned, so. See the Uther ban here because they didn't take it. Very strong with both Malthael and Genji, so two strong DPSs here. The Soul Laner being a DPS for Tempest this time. Tastar removed. Tyrael is an opportunity here if they want to empower the Sonya to kind of make it a Soul Laner DPS versus DPS in the longer team fights. Tyrael is so good against Malthael, so that's why the task ban is a little bit puzzling. I think Tyrael is a good option now because Malthael is on the board. Tyrael empowers the Sonya.
Let's see what they're thinking for their bottom lane. Sonya will be top. Brightwing would likely just to clear mid and rotate around with phase shift. But maybe they will just go back to their old ones and have some Lunara damage, as poison works so well against Genji. And having ranged, and seems like Tempest already picked up double DPS. Less likely we'll see a solo support with triple DPS coming from Tempest. So I think Lunara sticking to what they have been doing so well is a great option for Mighty.
Let's see. Tyrael comes through. And it will be Rhaegar, so saving the DPS pick for last, which I think is going to become more commonplace as we've seen so much today. So Tyrael empowers the Sonya while also denying damage from Malthael. It's not what Tempest wanted. I think that the Tastar pick was never going to be the case with Brightwing. It doesn't give you enough healing if you do that. And so I think that was a mistake to not ban the Tyrael if they wanted to run this Malthael DPS top laner. So that is going to hurt for Tempest. What can they make it up with, though? We'll have to see those two supports come through. We've seen a lot of Malfurion. Malfurion Lucio did not succeed for them in the last game, but if they play better, I think it could certainly work.
And Tide may be sticking with Malfurion once more because it is another sort of a diving comp on the other side. And his Twilight Dreaming has been alright, but maybe we'll see some change from Honkono's support pick, though.
Cassia, so
Triple
double
DPS?
DPS, yeah. Double range DPS, triple DPS with Malthael being the solo laner. Solo support. So whatever Mighty picks for DPS now, we'll have to remember that it will be double blinding. The Johanna Cassia synergy is very strong. So what will they pick? Will they try to make a mage work here because of the blinds? I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure Mighty was thinking of some kind of La Lunara, some kind of ranged assassin like
Definitely.
Cassia. Maybe they were thinking of Cassia on their own.
I wonder if they can, I mean, can they try to make Gul'dan work here? Could work. I think that's the only mage they can take in this case. Otherwise, they might just have to stick with the Lunara, the Vala,
but
and just have to fight around the blinds.
Risky.
It's not a comfortable position.
Very risky for Tempest. When the poly comes, even none of them, maybe Johanna can tank some damage, but Genji, even Cassia will get deleted, wrecked right there with so much damage. Malfurion healing is not burst, does not give any armor like Uther does. Gul'dan.
There it is, the only mage they could have picked. So this is so strong against the blinds. They can ruin a lot of combos with the Horrify, which is essentially a ranged Twilight Dream in a lot of ways, it feels like. And they have protection for him with the Tyrael, the Brightwing. Sonya is going to have to do a lot of damage, though. The Sanctifications for Mighty, I think, are going to decide whether they live or they die when these fights come through, because if they're not placed correctly, Malthael, with this triple DPS comp coming out of Tempest, will do so much damage, especially against the tank line here. Tyrael so tanky, Sonya tanky, going to gain a lot of value. Malthael will, Rhaegar even, pretty tanky support. So guys, let's go into Dragonshire to find out which one of these teams is going to take match point. In blue, Team Tempest, Hide on Malfurion, Honkono on Johanna, Lockdown on Cassia, Sign on Kenji, and H82 on Malthael.
And in red, Mighty, Joker on Tyrael, BDG on Gul'dan, Good on Sonya, Nasang on Brightwing, and Magi on Rhaegar.
Okay, so an odd position swap here for Sign to play the Genji. He said in several interviews this year that he only feels comfortable playing Tracer as DPS. This will not be the case in this game.
Seems like this is what they were talking about, as you mentioned, very beginning of the broadcast. Sign going into DPS. Honkono sticking with the tank. Of course, Honkono's tank has lots of experience, so that's doable. But let's see the positioning of Sign.
Okay, Lockdown is already nearly picked off. This is going to be the case in a lot of these fights when you fight in lane against a Gul'dan, also pre-10 for Malthael, where you just cannot do as much damage. So we're going to see the Malthael versus Sonya in the top lane now coming up. Nice dodge for Good. This actually will give him such flexibility in the lane at the beginning if he plays this correctly, especially with Magi rotating up. They're going to see the lane swap, which is basically required against Malthael in lane. Just can't win it otherwise.
And in this past, Cassia did get a small buff. If you can call that a buff, I guess. But with the blind, you would do more extra damage, and your auto attack actually went up by 5. So if you call that a buff, yes.
Sure. I mean, it certainly will matter. How much will it matter? We don't know yet.
Gul'dan, if he makes those kind of rotation when you do not see so many members of Tempest.
So Gul'dan did a lot of damage in that rotation. He's actually going for a fell build, not Echoed Corruption on this map, which is surprising given how this is normally played in Korea, where you're trying to get that late game. But the damage that he did there to Genji, I wanted to highlight that, even though he died on his rotation back. Genji, even during deflection, will still get DOT stacks applied to him. So that's why even after the deflection wore off there, he was taking so much damage. So that's one of the other reasons why Gul'dan is picked here, similar to Lunara. The damage over time against Genji deflects. So very powerful in terms of that DPS. They have 3, though, that he will have to worry about. And 2 of them are dive. The third is a pseudo dive. A very powerful draft for Tempest. I feel like if Tempest had Uther instead of Malfurion, like, this draft could be devastating. Like, it could be even stronger than it already is. Okay, Good being dove upon here. They're going to try to switch this around with Magi.
And Magi just finds himself in an awkward position on top. He's like, what do I do now? Just heals back. Sonya as they're contesting 2v2 for now on top. And Gul'dan, after that death in the middle, he is rotating a little safer now.
PG does get the second shot here onto Honkono. So weird to see Honkoto back on Johanna. It feels like it's been over a year since I've seen that. Ammo out here on the bot lane. Gul'dan's passive positioning now costing them a lot of damage on these towers, giving Tempest a lead. That and the kill, of course. Good positioning here to lock down and hide, dodging that fell damage coming out. Looks like this is going to be a pretty neutral early game. Camp's taking it the exact same timing. Tempest and Mighty here.
It seems like Cassia is building into a Q build instead and plate at 4 instead of normal ones we see blind when there's Greymane onto the other side. Even there is Sonya, but I think the idea of Cassia is to just poke and try to do damage when or kite when they're falling behind, as they already have a lot of DPS in the front line.
With all the damage H82 takes here, we'll actually be able to trade it back in force. Obviously does a lot of damage to this very tanky line of Mighty. This is actually going to be a pretty good trade for Mighty because they can actually get the wall, whereas this push should not get the fort itself. See, as you can see here, going to catch this experience up now. Fort getting low though, actually, and no one's coming down. They're staying all up here, so actually this is not going to be a good trade at the end of the day if they get that fort, which they nearly did. Finally, the rotation comes in here for Nasong. So still, in terms of damage, yeah, better trade for Tempest, but because they didn't get it, Mighty catches up in experience very close. Sign is just trying to poke this down. They want it really bad. Not going to have it yet. Lockdown's like, just wait. Like, well, no, you're not going to get it yet.
He also took Traveler, so going in for the basic attack and Q damage. Seems like the blind coming out from Johanna seems like enough, as there are not too many basic attack from the other side.
Yeah, and he knows that if he tries to build into dive, then he's going to have problems against Horrify, so teleport up here onto H82. Magi can go for the bite. There it is. Not enough damage, though. H82 heals up. Sign comes through. They turn this around. Will H82 live? Barely not. Heights coming up. This is a big rotation rodeo over here. We're just watching kills left and right, but finally will retake the shrine. This is an unleash opportunity. Honkoto actually did not get hit by that by that corruption. Joker will interrupt regardless. The push in the bot lane from the siege camp is starting to add up. Without a global, dealing with this is hard.
And they did lose a member, and they had Sonya and Brightwing still on top. Not really has to make the rotation because they had the early lead, as this camp is just pushing in for the moment. Not too many crazy things happening, as they're taking this passively as they can. Just trying to have some ganks when they have the opportunity. Try to punish if the rotation is late, but not too many kills so far.
BDG just healing himself up here, knowing that Nasong is coming. They want to turn this fight. Fort does go down, just pushing Tempest towards 10. Mighty cannot stick around anymore. And, you know, I feel like this could be a situation for the Valkyrie, especially with the build chosen here. Holding it, because it's really good against Gul'dan, I think.
Yeah, and also to save yourself sometimes.
Definitely holding it. Let's see what happens. Might want to wait to react to potentially Judgment or something like that, which I really doubt we'll see, but really risky to run that with this comp. Especially when you chose the Tyrael to use Sank against the Malthael. That's the whole point of the pick.
When they all dive in, Twilight Dream and Blessed Shield can cancel much of that. So maybe just not Judgment coming out. It is Sanctification.
Yeah, of course.
Even Blessed Shield was used there.
Yeah, that was not what they wanted. Would have gotten them the kill if they had a little bit more damage there. Okay, the Fel quest is completed already here at 648. Very good map for it. Very good Gul'dan player is BDG. So this is just a passive game. 3 kills total. Looks like we're just going to wait and see Cassia hold on to this until the fight breaks out. She'll make the choice of the Lightning Ball or the Valkyrie as soon as that becomes a relevant game changer. Okay. Forces a teleport here. That's actually pretty successful out of Sign. Been pretty impressed with this Genji so far, honestly. Really been pretty on point.
Playing passive, of course, not the only damage. So he had a lot more room to do free damage from the side. Well, let's see when the teamfight breaks in, the positioning of himself from the side or stopping the channeling from happening.
There's your Pursuit of Flame UI popping up. Honkoto goes for the channel, is interrupted. Second one, though, will he be so lucky? The Aldruins does commit. Sign is low. Let's have that long sustained healing coming out from Hyde now. His Twilight Dreams have been fantastic today, but follow-up support is not here at all even. Like last time was Hongkong missing his Sound Bears, but this time he's the only support, so needs to be careful when these fights break out. Okay, BDG is committed to this. Might be a Horrify. Valkyrie is used. He does use it here. He's picked off. That's why you hold it. That's why you wait until the perfect moment. Sanctification interrupted as well here. They want to bait it out, then go for the longer fight with Tormented. It doesn't matter. H82 is going to channel the Dragon Knight. Good deflect here from Sign. Everybody lives on the side of Tempest.
And Lockdown has been playing lots of mages, those skill shot landing on perfect target. He knew he was going around that wall, which is still alive in the top left. So he had to make the choice, or if he turned back even for a slight second, he would have died anyhow. So grabbing all to cool down with that Valkyrie. Is it going to be just one pick now and making regrets later on? I don't think so. I think that's a lot more threat to go down, even a safety tool for himself to escape from a danger zone.
Especially the build they've chosen, you know, building into the kind of the Q quest and the auto attacks, and you're always going to be in good position to threaten that, which forces Gul'dan to play more passively, which means he doesn't get as much damage done. And because he didn't take Echoed Corruption, which persists longer than his Pursuit of Flame Fell build does, sure, he gets a really short cooldown and a lot of damage. You can do a ton with the Fell, but it means that Cassia can get closer to him. Okay, here's another commitment. This time it's going to be Tamagi. Silence comes through.
Nicely done.
Two for two. Value.
Connecting with the Twilight Dream, though. Brightwing had no chance of escaping that. Was caught off guard. And we do not see too many Valkyries. I believe this is the second one in HGC Korea.
Yeah, in part 2 at least. I don't remember part 1, but I know that we saw one in part 2, so this is the second one in Korea here. We've seen it fail miserably as well. I think it was used by Raven, in fact, and it did not work well. But in this game, it looks incredible because 2 for 2 success. If we see one more like this, then I think no matter what happens for the rest of the game, it's never going to be one of those picks like you were saying, like we've seen with Haymaker in the past, where it's like, or Judgment, where it's like, oh, I see why he did it. He got that initial pick, but for the rest of the game, he wishes he had the other one. In this case, I think with what we've seen twice now already from Lockdown, it's a pretty good bet. This is going to continue to do a lot for Tempest. They're 4 kills to 1 now. Sure, the Dragon Knight didn't do massive amounts of damage, but they're 2 forts up. And Mighty is in a struggling position to win team fights because they're always fighting a man down. They've always been picked by these Valkyries. BDG needs to lead the fights with Horrifies. Sank comes through, he needs to just walk forward and use Fell. That's why you chose Fell over Echoed Corruption, you have to imagine, because he can get into range to use those Fells because of the Sanctification. This is annoying to deal with. Sonya coming up as well to have to push that back.
Because of those picks, because they were losing members consistently when they were about to make their macro back into the fight. Mighty's losing this macro when they were trying to actually have this Valkyrie cancel because of that wall right there, but still.
Okay, Magi is surviving. Sonya and Gul'dan coming down. Gul'dan could have tried to go for the flank there, Horrify, but looks like they're very willing to just take the trade of no heroics versus the Valkyrie. Not a very long cooldown.
Mighty is just panicking because of that single heroic from the other side. If that landed with some other CC silence, a stun, Rehgar would have been gone, man. Even drew out the global coming out from Brightwing, so I would say Tempest got what they wanted. They didn't get the kill, but this is enough.
Okay, well, it's going to try to lead to an Unleash. Mighty is playing so passive because they don't have 16, but I don't think you can play passive like this. This Dragon Knight looks to walk towards bot, perhaps, here. That's what it looks like he's headed towards. Yeah, he wants to go directly to that keep wall. Keep wall already damaged. Oh, no, the roots. He dodges it, though. Horrify, panic Horrify. Not going to be what they want. That's 80 seconds of cooldown. They got to wait. Sign nearly goes down off screen. I don't know what happened, but I guess it won't matter since he survived. Probably just a Poison Spear into Rehgar bites there. Kicks come through. Uh-oh.
Does have
nice dodge.
Misses this time, but the Blessed Shield brings out the CC. Maybe enough damage. The Ancestral lands on the BDG, so he will survive.
Hyper carry Gul'dan, man. I guess it's real.
Sonya's coming from the side to flank into Hyde. Misses
Good
a spear.
Hit. Nice hit, though, coming through there. And that was actually so necessary to get that pick onto Genji. Hyde will be the next one to fall. And an overextension again here from Tempest, punished by Mighty. HA2 is just going to get the last few seconds of this Dragon Knight into as much experience as he can. Remember, he is playing the Malthael. He does have Tormented Souls when he pops out, but Sanctification is available. I don't think he should use it here. Joker chasing him down like a hawk.
He's trying to punish HGC too, but he will use the W to just escape. That was an aggressive move by Tempest. They should have realized to put Sonya coming down from the side. And the big tool was because they used lots of tools when they tried to get picked up, like the Silence was not available for that team fight. Lots of tools were already on cooldown. Like Sign was very low right before, so no Genji for the entire fight. Mighty made the right decision to come back into the fight, and I think they just did what they wanted. They're starting their own macro now with the camp, starting with that and continuing with the global. They had to catch some EXP still a whole level apart, but this is a chance for them now.
Yeah, Honkono just finished Regen Master, so that's a nice another tool they're going to have that's going to keep his really big power spike appetite satiated until he gets that indestructible in 2 levels time. Honkono is the target here with this camp pushing. Everyone has already been spotted bot, so I actually like this from Mighty to commit to this. I don't know if anyone's getting out of here. I think Honkono dies. Okay, let's see. Everyone's rotating up very slowly. They do have, again, Tormented Souls. Honkono does die, though. Too late. And look at the Horrify! Can't Tormented Souls if you're Horrified. Does pop it here on the retreat only. Dragon Blade comes in alone. Sank is going to help to mitigate a lot of this damage, but I think Mighty should consider turning tail. They are in blue side territory right now between this keep, or rather this fort, and the camp. Like the retreat here.
It's always the thing on Dragon Chariot. If you're alone at top, even if you're Johanna, maybe Honkono thought, as I'm a Johanna, I still have my iron skin. Maybe I'll survive, but when there's a poly, that was when the massive damage was put into Johanna. Could not really go in. Very uncoordinated fight. I guess the retreat from Tempest. Sign went in for the damage. He almost died.
Yeah, that would have
Twilight Dream right after to save Sign. All the tools are already used when Mighty still has that Ancestral available.
Yeah, if that had been a kill onto Genji, like on the Sign, yeah, it would have been disastrous to say the least. Still, Mighty didn't get as much as they would have liked. They got the fort, but the respawn comes through for Honkono. They're not going to be able to turn this into an Unleash. But taking this, I think, is a bit crazy for Tempest. Yeah, HJ2 will back off, knowing those heroics are still on cooldown. Brightwing can't even really soak safely, so they're not getting much from the global in the top lane. Might just want to try to sneak teleport in and try to fight this to get the Unleash. Okay, actually just going to run up towards mid right now. Good, not going to be the best target for this. They have the minion wave here. Nasong's just baiting this. Blessed Shield, or sorry, Glare there used. Lockdown will take this back in the bot lane.
For now, Tempest is playing safely because they do not have Dragon Blade. Tormented Soul will be back online.
Okay, 19 to 18, small scaling advantage here. Can mean a huge difference with Malthael, though. The hit points.
So they're trying to just delay buy time as they still have the Sunshine up on top. Nasong still pushing into the top lane. Genji will have to go deal with that as they also want to hit 20 very soon.
See if he just teleports in as soon as he sees the Genji. Nope. We'll just take the long way. Might not actually have phase shift because he just used it a little while ago.
I think by the time Mighty has the control onto both Shrine, maybe Tempest will be close to 20. Let's see, they can still delay. There are lots of tools that can delay the channeling.
Okay, this is not a good place for Honkono to be. Emerald Wind pushes him out. There's the Horrify. He is caught, taken out here. And H82 is doing a lot of damage. Sign's coming in as well. All the DPS on the side of Tempest. Will it be enough if they don't have the front lines? Ancestral goes off. Again, Moggy saves BDG, but Sign is looking for the kill. Doesn't get it here. He doesn't get the kill. Moggy survives. Pauly saves him again. The Mercs might kill him. It looks like they will. But this is still a one fight for Mighty. 3 kills for 1. And finally, they will get their first Unleash of the Dragon Knight.
Tempest get 20, but they're wiped out. Honkono's initial positioning getting so much damage was the problem, but that Poison Spear to stop Twilight Dream. Hyde pressed that R button, but it was not even on cooldown because that Poison Spear landed at the perfect moment onto Malfurion. That could have been a teamfight changing moment somewhat, or not losing too many members as they lost 3 in that teamfight.
Yeah, now look at what they can accomplish with this. They're going to get both forts. They're going to take a massive scaling lead from this. They're going to get the level 21 advantage. And they should be, with the time left on the Dragon Knight and the 17-minute scaling, be able to get a keep wall, possibly even this keep. Respawns are coming in. Twilight Dream, as you say, wasn't used, which is a problem, but at least they still have it now. That's one thing to say. Ice Block should be available as well.
Let's see if they can get this keep, as Dragon Knight 17 minute can be deadly.
Mighty has such weak poke, such weak siege that I like their decision to retreat here. Sank's up in 10. Valkyrie, no Sank for 10 seconds, make it 5. Okay, we do see the Twilight Dream committed to here. Sadly, not going to be what they wanted.
Too slow. He needs to channel that bolt Twilight Dream as it is reworked.
Yeah.
And that was way too late.
So
that was a good try, I guess. Gul'dan went hardest back home, so that was a 4v5. Could not really punish anyone for the chase.
So they got the 21. It's not as much as they would have liked to have it faster for Tempest here. Didn't even get to use it there, so didn't get that keep. But they got all the forts removed. All the advantages they had against there, sorry, all the disadvantages I should say. Advantages against them is probably just a dumb way of saying disadvantages. Disadvantages they had have now kind of been nullified. They have an open keep that they could, if they get the next Dragon Knight with, crush with to get a massive lead in terms of catapults.
Oh, but Sanctification is dropped and used already. Valkyrie misses. Nice juke by Joker, but still dropping a Sank for another 90 seconds into this game.
Yeah, especially with Tormented Souls available, that's really rough. But again, Mighty doesn't have that much poke, so now that the Siege Giant's cleaned up, they need to kind of just play passively, honestly, or things like this will happen to them. So the next fight,
this game is giving you chills. Maybe Mighty's trying to open their window into their first abroad tournament, which is the biggest one, BlizzCon here.
Yeah, this will be their first time traveling internationally as a team that was formed in late 2015. Had an international event list 2016, 2017 was just the same, but finally this could be their moment. Playing so safe right now, knowing they don't have Sank and knowing they have the camp pressure, they're just simply not going to give Tempest any opportunities here.
Both teams feeling that pressure. We can just tell by their positioning how they're rotating around the map. But we took the top one. Tempest is trying to punish the rotation, but Mighty will safely move in together because a single kill can just be the game.
Oh man, remember last time the Sonya face check? I want to repeat this on the Towers of Doom success. Tempest is going to wait too. Is simply going to wait until a better opportunity arises. The problem is Tempest waiting means that backdoors can happen, the pressure coming out from globals can happen, the Brightwing global I mean specifically. Whereas Tempest can't really do anything while they wait. They don't have any global heroes to pressure lanes.
They just have to focus on one, not split. And that will buy enough time, but they do need to make a winning move as either team does not have any keep.
We don't, and we don't see moves like this outside of China, really. Like, China is the region where on this map you see games that are just like, no, you attack me first, and everyone sits back, arms akimbo, you know, like, oh, I'm not going over there. You attack first. And in comps where neither team has a split pusher, the games can go super long, but in this case, you know, Brightwing is the only one who can split push. He's actually just hiding top.
But he's
this
making
is risky.
First move.
Yeah.
They don't have to fully commit. They can still disengage.
Okay, they do have Sank available. Looks like Tempest is not willing to try to force that out.
Small choke point and Holy Ground available, Horrify available. I don't think it's a good choice to go in when they are actually waiting for you to come in.
Okay, they see Genji bot. They sneak the top one. They can try to go for an Unleash here. Missed E there coming out from HA2. Won't matter because his talent allows it to persist. Genji does come back up here now. This is straight up a 5v5 as soon as Brightwing comes in. This one Siege Giant actually going to make a difference.
That's like 5 HP left.
Yeah, makes a difference though. If they get that bottom keep eventually from this, will be very regrettable. Genji shows bot. They're not going to be able to unleash him this time. He gets it blocked there, H82 with the persisting E. Such a good talent pick here for the situation. So Siege Giant will finally get taken out.
The lockdown had to come down. Seems like they will just take a control over this Moon Shrine at the bottom as Brightwing will continue to push. Even Brightwing, because if Brightwing gets picked off, basically they will not have a global for, I guess, what's the death timer now? Like 70 seconds, maybe even more.
It's probably about 65 right now.
So she's not really like pushing into the keep wall. I believe the keep wall is still there because she has been just super safe about the global play.
They also don't have vision, so there's just no reason to risk it. We're gonna get this camp. We'll lose the neutral knight camp, but they have a full keep wall up. Siege Giant's even gonna buy time and give vision, so Brightwing knows now she can push because they have vision of all 5 and they go for the flank. Looks like she wants to just hide right now, though. Like, what she's been doing is just hiding so that Tempest doesn't know exactly when she's going to teleport in necessarily. And it's just going to come up here top. Still, they don't know that she's there, so she's hiding. I say she, you know, whatever gender Brightwing is. Brightwing's hiding up there so that they can push this through with a night camp. Suddenly, she shows herself, right? And that's when up here, Nasong is just like, oh, you didn't think I was up here, but now that it really matters, you don't have any way of coming back here. Dismounts are going to be dropped down from Mighty. It looks like Honkono is able to get out before everybody else.
Nice macro control. They got some scratches on the tower. Not to the keep. The Joker may get punished alone.
I think he wants to bait this. He's got Sank. Okay, Horrify comes through, but not enough.
Not much follow-up. Brightwing joins the fight, and Sonya comes from the side. But
Mighty needs to get out of here. Mighty needs to get out of here. You do not want to take this fight without the Horrify.
As you're pushing the top lane anyhow, you don't have to be committing all in here. As this camp will do their job for them. As they still control the top one, Tempest cannot unleash the Dragon Knight anyhow. So they made every right decision. They're taking down scratches after scratches on that top keep.
Going to be difficult to kill Honkono with the Indestructible here. I don't think trying to pick him off this time is going to be reasonable. Uh-oh, Joker's caught. Might have to Sank. He's definitely going to have to Sank here. Blessed Shield.
Stun.
Oh, he had 1 second to do it, but it was just not enough time. And that's dead Tyrael. Tempest looking for that late game Dragon Knight now. They need to squat that bottom shrine. They need to send everybody down there right now. That's exactly what they're doing. They have to take the safe path, though. Rhaegar is going to be the one who comes down. Opportunity here, though. I don't think they can stop this in time. They're just going to give it.
I think it will be a keep for sure. Maybe they want to go in even more because this is a 25-minute Dragon Knight.
Oh, this should be game if they don't lose anybody.
At least Brightwing wants to go all the way in and trade for a keep But Brightwing may have to come as soon as possible.
Remember, Mighty has very little siege. We talked about this comp. They don't have echoed corruption, so the fell damage is all they have in terms of poke. Unless Brightwing is here, she comes back now. She's got the arcane players, but look at how quickly this keep falls. Dragonblade already committed to here. HA2 just wants to be ignored as he wails on this core. Is going to be pushed away here now by the Emerald Wind. Sinus is maintaining this Dragonblade. Horrify comes through onto the Dragon Knight. Not going to last very long. That's a kill on Genji.
With the polymorph on to Genji. Nicely done, but this Dragon Knight is doing so much
Indestructible
damage.
As well. I don't know if they can stop this. They are trying their damnedest. HA2 will be knocked out here. Sank is dropped, but it's not enough. Tempest will force their way into match point with that pick onto Tyrael. That's all they needed.
Look at Honkono. He's like, oh gosh, that was a crazy game. That took long, and that was crazy.
Such passive play to both teams, but it's a pick like that in the late game that opens everything up. Without moments like that, the game goes on forever. And BDG laughing last time after his Genji carry is now hands over mouth. Not a happy moment here for Mighty and their fans.
It was as close as until 25-minute Joker losing his life. I guess not using the Sanctification, or either way, just using the Sanctification or costing him his own life was close to game ending because they would have got the Dragon Knight anyhow. So either way, it was after that moment, that crucial mistake. We end up seeing some crazy mistakes happening, like Towers of Doom, lockdown face check into a bush at the very end, which costed the game. Tyrael just being out of position, getting grabbed by a lot of the CC, costing them the game. It seems like the focus on each player in the team is costing them the game. So I think practice, having that endurance is the key to today's series.
Yeah, very well done overall there in the late game. The endurance, the experience showing through for Tempest. Now they'll have map picks. So as we go into Game 4 and potentially Game 5, Mighty will never get the map pick unless they win this next map. So let's see how this all pans out, man. It's been a pretty tense series, and every game has been close. All of them. Infernal Shrines was the toughest one for Mighty, but they made the early game look really good for them. They dominated the early game, failed after team fighting. But going into Game 4, I think you want to avoid big maps. I think you might even want to go Tomb of the Spider Queen here if you're Tempest.
Yeah, that's one of the easier macro control map as they have been leading in wave clear and pushing into the fort. Maybe they are considering. I think BO, because thinking of it now even more, Battlefield of Eternity ban from Mighty was the perfect choice for the
It certainly
series.
was. Braxis, I suppose, is also an option.
I guess War. No,
or sorry, not
okay.
Braxis, Warhead.
Yeah.
But
For Tempest, I don't think so.
no,
I
they
don't think
wouldn't
they want to
pick
go
that.
into a big map. Unless
So-
they want to take Brightwing for themselves and change this a little bit.
Sure. I think that you probably just want to. I think you probably want to go to Tomb here.
Mm-hmm.
Other options. Let's just forget about the Warhead. For some reason, I had Warhead on my paper. I was thinking about Braxis being available. It's the opposite. Opposite is the case.